Okay, and we'll just see what happens. You know, if we, if I run out of, if I strike out, I may call you back. Okay. Yeah, no worries. And I am so sorry. That
Okay, I will now call the
between MSLI
meeting of
and
the
our,
Curricular Material
I met
Selection
you
Committee
on
to
the
order. It is
And I'm just-
4:11
yeah,
p.m.
22 holes in my word.
This is the second
Go ahead,
meeting
tell me how
of the
long
Curricular
it's
Material
supposed to
Selection
be.
Committee for the 2022 review cycle for K-12 mathematics and English language learner.
It's definitely.
Excuse me, Crystal.
really doing
I'm
better.
hearing another voice. Is there someone like outside your cubicle that's talking?
But it's
Yes, there
Okay.
is. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of control over
That's all right. I'll
that.
listen more carefully.
You can go to my
Sorry.
room if you want, Crystal. My room's open.
I can't, I'm not on a laptop to easily move around.
Yeah, do the whole thing. Well, I don't, they give you.
I have not been able to send the minutes around yet.
So, but
I will get that taken care of for everyone to look at, but I don't feel like I can ask anyone to approve minutes if you guys haven't had a chance to look at them.
Jump off.
So with that being said, I will open up our list for voting.
Well, even worse than learning because they pulled it out.
And open it up for discussion on the remaining materials in which we had not yet voted on.
I think it's a little bit of a hassle, but I mean, I survived just fine. If I could have just taken like a week
So
off,
this
but
Is it
included.
possible you can make that a little bigger?
my husband
Yes.
says, "Yeah, 6 months
Okay.
sick leave is probably more than that." And it's like, it's not that I don't have it. It's that I don't have
Does that work?
So,
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
exactly. There's always a
Okay,
question.
so
Like a couple hundred emails.
Carnegie Learning,
So,
the fast
but
forward
anyway,
for
no, thank you very much. This is working on
the English learner
finalizing
materials
the,
was
matrix
rated at
of-
component.
and we
The
wanted to-
remaining high school materials from Cengage were all determined to be comprehensive.
Totally forgot because apparently nothing's in my
A
noggin, so-
majority of
Yeah.
these
hold
CPM
on to
materials
stuff.
were rated
So
as
I will let
comprehensive.
Susan know tomorrow.
Sounds like
and
we
we
need to
will go
continue
from
a
there.
discussion on
All
the
right,
upper level
thank
high
you. And
school
then I will- I think I
courses
have
though.
a debrief. I just don't know if I can manage it this weekend. I'm out on vacation next week.
HMH, their
So,
remaining
I don't know.
materials,
And I'm still
including
waiting to get,
trigonometry and
still
their
waiting
3
Washington
English
to
language
come in
learner
there.
courses were rated as comprehensive.
Really looking forward to
McGraw-Hill
follow up on
Reveal
that
Math,
too. I sent him an email
Key2
today, but-
was rated at comprehensive, 3.5 as component,
Oh, really?
6.8 as comprehensive.
yeah.
The algebra, geometry,
yeah,
algebra 2
I
sequence was
sent
rated
him
as
some emails
comprehensive.
today, so I'm hoping that they're checking
Illustrative
on our
mathematics, 6.8, and the algebra, geometry, algebra 2 series is all rated as basic.
Yeah.
And all of
okay.
the open up resources materials were rated
Okay.
as comprehensive.
Yeah, just
So
hey, just you just put your name. in there,
after looking
put
at the
all our amounts
McGraw-Hill
and numbers, and then
reviews,
fill out your W-9,
um,
picture of each of them
again,
separately, and put 'em
it was still determined that the 3.5 grade band would best
all right, thank
be
you, ma'am.
rated as component still. Is that
Talk to you later.
correct?
Which McGraw-Hill, Crystal?
It was Reveal Math grades 3.5 that
I see it now. Sorry, my
yes,
chat box is right over the top of that. Sorry about that.
no problem. The reviewers had very detailed explanations for their justifications of why they rated things the way they did. And it drops their percentage below the 80% threshold. I think Stacy, you had looked at these more thoroughly, if I remember correctly.
Yes, well, we asked the reviewers to go back and look, and I had gone through their comments and just based on their comments said which ones I thought could be rated a 2 or a 1. And they came back and did make some of those changes. Some of those changes they felt very strongly about keeping where they had them. And I feel like at this point, since we did ask them to review, we need to respect their expertise because that's the purpose of having teachers. So where they had reviewed it, I think it still came out at component, but very, very close. I think the percentage you gave me was 79.4. So almost could be rounded up to 80, but not quite. But I feel like I feel comfortable with that idea of component just because it still allows districts to use it, but lets them know there are some weaknesses in those grades that they might have to look at and supplement or look at a little more closely.
And we can definitely try to make sure those aspects are noted in the extended adoption guide, what those weaknesses are and how best they could be supplemented, so that folks know that. So we will stick with the component then for those. Now the CPM materials. Shall we pause and take some time to review the scoring of these? I think that sounds like it may be necessary. 3, did you want us to go ahead and do that?
I think a pause would be nice, or are we going to have another meeting?
I think if folks have time, it would be nice to get this wrapped up now for just, I would hate to have to ask you to ask for another meeting just for 3 titles.
Okay.
So I'm gonna stop sharing for a moment. So we can, you already have the calculus review pulled up, is that correct?
I do just now. Now I have, clarify for me that you are supposed to or not supposed to include criterion 1, alignment to the Idaho standards in mathematics. Those are included if they are applicable. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And those are mathematical practices that Kathy worked on in the evaluation, that it's just good practice in general, regardless of the grade level.
Okay. And the zeros that are listed there should be NA for the calculus because calculus doesn't deal with those things.
For standards for mathematical practices?
Yes.
So are you talking about like the model with mathematics or the constructing viable arguments?
The scoring for mathematical practices at the very first. Pages 5 through 6. Those first 8 things.
So are you saying that you think some of those areas in which they rated as zeros are not applicable to calculus?
That's what I'm asking.
I would say that they are, because it is a mathematical practice that is based around just teaching of math overall, not specific to an individual content area. And those were evaluated for all grades
Okay,
and,
so
and
that,
included in the scoring of all grades.
okay, that should be included, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
It's only the content domains really where you start getting into whether there's standards that are within those content domains that are applicable to specific grade levels.
okay. 'Cause the one that I went through came up still in the 70s.
Okay.
And I assume all of the others, I assume they counted them correctly. And so they would all still come in the 70s, which makes it a comprehensive program, not
Component,
a basic.
component, you mean?
Pardon?
Component, you mean?
Yes, component,
Okay.
not comprehensive.
Okay.
It makes it component because it's below 80.
Okay. I had, in our earlier discussion, you're right, I hadn't thought about the language points in there. And reflecting that in the points that had been evaluated. So that would change all three of those to component then. Okay, so those three are component based on the percentages. Okay, is there any further discussion about any of the ratings on the remaining materials?
I have a question not about the ratings, but maybe I was a minute late to the meeting. Did you change the bias issue?
That I don't think had a significant impact on any scoring,
Right,
but
right,
the comments will be corrected to reflect what the reviewer reported as finding within the one text rather than that being something that was present in all.
okay, all right.
So any documentation from the reviews, if there are discussions with the reviewers and they have not done a submission to reflect clarification, but they have provided the information within the context of an email, those adjustments will still be made. And that information isn't finalized until the board approves the report at their August meeting. So any documentation would not be available until that point anyway, which allows for time to address any of that clarifying information that reviewers have been providing. Any other questions or discussion on the remaining materials? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve the recommendations as listed?
I move to approve the recommendations.
Was
I'll
that,
second.
was that Darlene? Or,
Yes,
sorry, Zoom and screen sharing. Okay. Darlene made the motion, and who was the second?
Lisa.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
aye.
I
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing them none, the motion carries. And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Third.
I heard Christy with the second, and who was the maker of the motion?
Larry.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any objection? Hearing none, the motion passes. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much for your tireless work put in this review cycle. It took a lot, and you guys are absolutely all amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Crystal. I know it's been a lot of work.
Thank you.